Hello everybody, and welcome to another installment of Crane Video. Today we're going to go over another style of doing switches out of water valves for our pipe lamps. Noticed on Etsy they have a lot of this style right here where it's just the water valve handle right into a piece of 1/2 inch threaded double male. Did a little bit of looking around, and I think I figured out a version of how they've done it. I'm not sure it's exactly how some of the ones you see on Etsy are being made, but I think this is a pretty good version of it. So all we need for this is a rotator switch. You can find these on Amazon. They come in packages of 6. Just do a little search for a rotator style on-off switch, and these will come up little packages of 6. They're usually about I want to say $7-8. A garden hose faucet for a Home Depot sells $5-6, and then also a short double male 1/2 inch double threaded nipple there. So the one thing you want to be sure of when we're getting these is the faucet itself. In previous videos we've used this style right here for water switches. Unfortunately they don't work too well, and we'll show you why here real quick. Is on these ones here, when you pull them off, you have this large piece right here, and unless you really want to rip into it and take it apart and try to get the little brass ring out of there, you're going to fight to get this piece off. So if you just go straight for the garden hose style, and I've already loosened this with a pipe wrench already, but you take this top piece off here, and now this will just thread right out and give us just a cap and the plunger. This cap will thread right into a 1/2 inch pipe thread. Now it's not an exact fit on it, so what we'll do later on in the video, you'll see when we put it together, we'll put a little dab of JB Weld in there just to make sure it stays in good and secure. So these 3 things, a little bit of JB Weld, and we can make this. Now, as we all know, usually I try to avoid any special tools, need anything to build my projects. I like it really simple. This one, unfortunately, I haven't found a way around it, but we are going to need a Dremel tool or something comparable to that, because this switch right here will not fit inside of the nipple, 1/2 inch nipple. So what we'll do is we'll take this, we'll grind this down a little bit, and we'll get it to where it fits nice and smoothly inside and moves freely. The other thing you might want to pay attention to is often on the inside of this, you're going to see there's going to be a little bit of a weld or a seam. So what I've done, and I've already done it on this one to save time, but what I did is took a grinding wheel, went down the inside and smoothed that down, largely due to the fact that this right here was catching on it and kind of rubbing a little bit. Didn't turn as freely as I wanted it to. Just ground it down a little tiny bit, and now it moves around no problem. So we'll get started here. Set these off to the side. So what we want to do, and I want to make sure I mention this real quick, you want to just grind down this little bit extra lip, and then just take it down to where the grooves for where you grab the rough surface. Just grind that down. You don't want to go down too far, or actually you'll go past through the cap and into where the actual electrical connection is. And obviously I want to make sure we all know we're all wearing safety glasses and taking proper safety precautions. And you want to make sure you don't, like I said, don't go too far, and you'll get to where as you start to get it, you can just start peeling it off. And then we'll just keep going around until we get that down to the proper diameter. And you want to go through and you can just keep checking. You can see this one here is still just a little bit of a tight fit, not quite there yet. I have one right here that I've already finished up. Save a little bit of time here. And you can see it fits in no problem. The other thing that I've done, you can see it right in there, is I've cut little grooves on the top and roughed up the surface a little bit, so when I use the JB weld it'll attach a little bit better. So now before we go and put this all together, what I like to do is take this screw here and washer, take these off, and then we'll take our Dremel tool and we'll grind this up a little bit, rough it up, and put some little grooves in it so it's got something a little more to bite on with the JB weld. There we go. Now with the grooves on this and the grooves on that piece, we'll be able to mount these up together. So we'll take just a very little batch of JB quick weld here. Mixed up real good. And then that'll start to set up pretty quick on you. So what I like to do is I'll take these little washers that came with it, put them on the back side, and then we can slip this over. Just to kind of make sure that we're keeping everything in line and keeping it nice and straight. And then we'll let that sit right there for just a little bit. Okay, so we've waited about 10 minutes. This should be set up pretty good now. Pull this off and we'll check it. One of the things you might want to do is kind of do a little bit of a dry fit. Just loosely thread that on there. Make sure it spins nice and freely in there. It's not hanging up on anything. If it is hanging up on anything, then you can sit there and you'll see where it's scraped on here at all, and you can just take the grinder once this is hardened up and you can just kind of grind it down any rough edges or anything. But looks like we lucked out on this one. I'm pretty happy with that. It spins nice and easy. So now we're going to make another batch of our JB Quick Weld. Slightly larger batch this time. Still not a tremendous amount by any means. And always with the JB Weld, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Of course, I get really technical on measurements and I just eyeball it. And we'll mix it up nice and good again. Get a nice even mix on there. And one of the things I'll do is I'll give just a tiny dab on these threads, just to kind of act as a Loctite. Be sure you're at the point that you want to keep that on there, because it's going to be a pain to get back off afterwards. Now what we'll do is we'll take this and start to put it on the inside here. We've got those washers to act as kind of a stop for us, and this is what will keep the switch from actually churning, from the whole switch body churning on the inside. This will secure the back side of the switch body and the wires to the threaded nipple itself. And those two lock washers that we put on the inside in there will help keep it from actually going down onto the switch. Because even though this stuff is fairly liquid when we first do it, it's not going to run away on you or anything. Try to keep it off of the threads as you're doing this, but if you get a little on there, it won't be the end of the world. As it's drying, you can just take a damp paper towel, run it around the edges to clean off anything that any excess you get on there. And there we go. Now we'll let that set up, and pretty shortly, once it's all set up, it should be just like this. And now you have a water valve that's a light switch for your pipe lamp. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone that's been subscribing. Love your guys' comments. Keep them coming, and we'll see you on the next one.